Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Yes, it's here. It's finally Friday. How you doing? I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. The Ides of March. March Madness is here. February is gone. It is the first day of March. I hope this finds you well. The website, allamericangold.com. So many things to talk about. Today, it's absolute crazy town. All kinds of data. You know, the government, I guess, is catching up. All the data that came out today essentially said everything that we told you about GDP the other day was a lie. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll give it to you. Also, another country saying, hey, you know what? We want our gold back, not to mention something straight out of a movie. Allegedly, the helicopters, the black helicopters, were in the desert in Syria. And again, you know, we always say you never know when you're going to need it. You may have to barter with it, right? Talking about why you have precious metals. I mean, mostly you have it for wealth insurance, but you never know. Apparently, ISIS, they had a lot of gold, allegedly. And they bartered with the United States and said, hey, how about if we give you a bunch of gold and you just pretend that you didn't see us and we'll just walk out of here? Yeah. And let me tell you, it wasn't a little bit of gold. They had a lot of it. We got that for you today and so many other things to talk about. For those of you, you know, Eric is back in Colorado, fortified. By the way, you know, a little rough. His first day yesterday was really good. He's getting, we're going to have so much fun. We continue to have a few issues. I know, go figure, right? Whoever told me it was a good idea to buy the radio station needs to slap the crap out of me. So, yeah, basically that's what I did last night. I was literally slapping the crap out of myself. We're going to spend some more money. Yeah. You know, somebody said that boat, if you owned a boat, you know, the BOAT, break out another 1,000. Right? That's kind of what happens with your boat. Anytime, I got a problem with the boat, it's $1,000. Yeah, pretty much the same thing goes at the radio station. But next week, now we have made a small change to the live stream. It's better than, you know, and here's what's been going on. For reasons that we don't know. Sometimes the live stream would work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Nobody really knows. But we think next week we're going to make a big move, which it should work all the time. And now, having said that, I've just ruined it. But look for that next week so you can do that. Podcast for Colorado coming. I got confirmation yesterday from my techies, because this is way above my pay grade. And they said absolutely, positively, 100%. We will have the podcast available for our Colorado shows before the end of March. So that way you don't have to necessarily tune in live if you want to catch Eric. And it's not a gold show. I never know what he's going to say. Kind of like when he was doing gold with us anyway. But nonetheless, we'll have that coming soon. You'll also Jason and Brian, right? Those guys, they're always talking about some conspiracy. That show will be podcasted as well. I was informed that we are also going to make a change to how our podcast looks on the Patriot site. I always get nervous when that happens, but they promised me that you guys are going to love it even better. That it's going to make it even cooler and better. And I don't know. I know. I mean, I've got a Android phone, right? But I'm not a techie. I don't think I've ever downloaded a podcast ever. So I'm not really sure how it all works. But nonetheless, they're telling me that all of you guys are going to be super happy about it. And I said, if I get phone calls, I'm going to be upset. But nonetheless, there's the update for that today. Just a bunch of crazy Friday. Incredible news breaking all over the place. It's actually getting harder and harder to keep track of it all. We'll try to break it all down for you as we get going here. Profit taking been going on and go. This is actually a technical thing. No real damage being done. Gold hit almost got that 1350, which is a little bit of resistance. 1366 is the number we really want to keep our eye on. Probably going to go back right near that 1300 level. So be buying. This is it. This isn't one of these nice technical sell-offs that we get. And really, it happened out of the data from yesterday. And then today's data kind of said, whatever we told you yesterday, forget about it. Amazing. The Dow was up a couple hundred points. Now it looks like it's going to go negative. So it's still up. It's up about 30 points, but coming down very, very quickly. All kinds of news from more retail closures. By the way, I'll give you the list. Some new people on that list, manufacturing, confidence, all this other stuff, and so much more. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others? Before I finish my song.
From News Headquarters, this is
Fake
News
Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
What is real? How do you define real?
Fake News Friday.
Fake.
Welcome to Fake News Friday. I have no idea who's on the line with us. We'll find out here in just a moment. Hello, mystery caller.
Hello, this is Jason.
There he is.
I'm here.
We're off to a smooth Friday.
Jason, I'm glad to hear your voice, my friend, because that probably means I'm going to be a winner. 2, I forgot all about Fake News Friday. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. It's incredible.
We could say that the fake news is there is no fake news today.
Where's George Clooney when we need him? Wasn't like George Clooney and Ice Cube in that movie where they were like in the Iraqi desert looking for the gold?
3 Kings or something like that?
Yeah. Apparently, that was a true story.
Yeah. Well, do you want to hear some fake stories?
Let's go.
After
Let's give it a shot.
After that smooth beginning. Man, I should have.
We're on top of things here, man. We run a first-class organization, and I don't care who, anyway.
The bad thing, I was just too ugly to get into TV, so that's why I got into radio.
Yeah.
Story
I
number.
actually had a customer in here last week who said the same thing to me that, wow, he goes, man, you really do have a face for radio. So I was like, yeah, thanks.
Thanks for the compliment. Story number 1. Scientists are puzzling over the discovery of a dead humpback whale in the Amazon jungle. The calf was found at the mouth of the Amazon River after reports that vultures were scavenging on the carcass. Estimated to be about 1 year old, the whale baby was already 26 feet from head to tail. Adult humpback whales can grow to twice that size. A marine mammal expert said, we're still not sure how it landed here, but we're guessing that the creature was floating close to the shore and the tide, which has been pretty considerable over the past few days, picked it up and threw it inland. Or it could have just walked on over, I suppose. Story number 2. The bar for failing test scores in North Carolina state public schools may be significantly lower under proposals of new legislation. House Bill 145, introduced by North Carolina General Assembly on Thursday, proposed to the base grades on a 15 rather than a 10-point scale. In other words, an F grade would consist of anything below a 40% score, much lower than the 60% mark that is the norm in North Carolina and most other states. Under new scale system, an A would be 100% to 85%, a B would be 84% to 70%, a C would be 69 to 55%, and a D would be a 45% to 40%. The scale system would not affect students who are already performing well, but students who are underperforming in school will be allowed to continue. If passed, the law will go into effect beginning in the 2019-2020 school year. Story number 3. An enormous species of bee that was once thought to be extinct has been discovered living alive and well in Indonesia. The monstrous insect was found in 1858 by explorer Alfred Russel Wallace and, as such, was given the informal name Wallace's giant bee. Incredibly, the creature was not again seen by scientists for over a century and was assumed to have died out until an entomologist managed to find a new specimen of the insect in 1981. Except for one additional sighting by a scientist in 1991, the giant bee remains seemingly impossible to find until a team of researchers on an expedition to Indonesia last month reportedly encountered the insect once again. Fortunately, the group managed not only to capture a specimen of the creature, but also photographed and filmed the living giant bee for the first time ever. The insect dwarfs the more well-known counterpart, boasting a body measurement of 6.5 inches long by a wingspan of 12.5 inches. According to the scientists who were on the site when they rediscovered the bee. Biologist Eli Wyman marveled that it was an incredible experience from an animal that not only lived in my imagination for many years, but to find it. The researchers also noted that the insect's sizable wings produced a unique humming sound that you could almost feel as well as hear. It's possible that this giant bee is responsible for the honeybee die-off, which is becoming a worldwide problem for pollination. So that is story number 3. Gentlemen, who would like...
Jason, what is going on over there?
Yeah, I turned him off. I don't know what's going on over there. They haven't. They're probably pontificating and debating about these exciting stories that I'm reading to you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear everybody.
Oh, okay. Joe, are you going first or me?
You go ahead.
I think story number 3 is a fake story. I don't believe that there is such a thing as a 6.5-inch long bee. The second story is just depressing. The lowering of standards, it's what's obviously happening across the world. That seems logical. A whale getting caught in a river, I can see that, but I don't. There's so much detail in that third story, and I know insects are. It's very hard to get 6.5 inches wide or long. I'm thinking it's that one. All
right, you're going with story number 3, Big B.
Yeah, all of these are true.
True-ish.
But yes, Jason is correct. It is the last story that is false. But it's the very last sentence of it that was false. The killing off of the bee population, not associated with this giant bee. And like I said, Jason, the great thing, ridiculous, the whale thing, I actually saw that one, so I kind of knew that. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But nonetheless, story number 3.
Gentlemen, you are both correct, and you are both correct in guessing the portions of the story that were false. It is not 6.5 inches long and 12 inches wide wingspan, and it also is not causing off the honeybee die-off. So together, you two make one awesome brain.
See that? Together we can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could buy a radio station. We could buy a radio station with no experience. and run it.
Well, I will tell you this.
Not very well, but
here's my little tip. I've been in radio over 20 years. The tip that I have for you is just keep pushing buttons until something happens. That's pretty much it. That's how I've learned.
That's kind of what we've been doing.
That's what I've learned. Yeah, you just keep on going until it sounds right.
Well, sounding right is different than getting it on the air. So those are two different things. I think we can jam this through here, round 2, to see who's going to be the winner. Ready? Here we go. Round 2, story 1. A federal court ruling is that it's unconstitutional to require only men to register for the draft and will increase the pressure on Congress to either expand the draft or eliminate it. As a practical matter, the decision by the U.S. District Judge Gray Miller late Friday won't change the draft registration overnight, but as of Monday, the Selective Service System still registers only men. An 11-member commission appointed by Congress is getting ready to study the report that's due back next year. The court ruling itself changes nothing as far as the commission is concerned, said Joe Heck, the Army general and former congressman who chairs the National Commission for Military, National, and Public Service. That process could lead to a many number of outcomes, only one of which is that women would be required to register for the draft. So that's story number 1. Story number 2, Nebraska State Senator Ernie Chambers is taking criticism for calling the American flag a rag and comparing it to the Nazi swastika. Chambers made the comments Tuesday as he spoke out against a state bill that would update civic requirements for students. I don't come here for this rag every day, and it's a rag. That's all it is to me, Chambers said in reference to the flag. When you show a way to persuade Jews to sanctify and worship the swastika, when you show me that, I'll come up here and stand while you all hypocritically pretend that that rag is something definitely not. Chambers, he's 81, the longest-serving state senator, represents an area of Omaha since 1971. He made the national headlines in 2017 for also filing a lawsuit against God over natural disasters. Story number 3. The ravenous use of toilet paper in the U.S., with the average American using almost 3 rolls each week, and major manufacturers spurning alternative fibers, is destroying Canada's forest and causing widespread environmental damage, two international environmental groups say. The report on the tissue paper gave failing grades to the leading toilet papers, tissues, and paper towel brands, only using virgin fiber pulp. Forests are too vital to flush away, said the report, called The Issue with Tissue, released Wednesday by Natural Resource Defense Council and STAND. New York freshman Congressman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or better known as AOC, commented that the Green Deal legislation she had introduced, consumers' use of toilet paper would be limited to 1 roll per person per family in a 2-week period. The report hammered the 3 biggest tissue producers in the U.S., Procter & Gamble, Georgia Pacific, and Kimberly-Clark, over their big recognizable brands as Charmin, Contel, Brownie, so forth and so on. All right, so that is story number 3. Gentlemen, what do you say?
I guess it's my turn.
It should be your turn.
And, yeah. Wow, I don't know what to say.
Go, I'm going
to have to go with story number 3.
Story 3.
Just because I believe that she would probably say something like that, but I just can't believe it, and I don't know what else to do. And quite honestly, I dozed off a little bit. So story number 3.
All right, fantastic. Well, let's see if Jason's awake. Jason, are you there? I know you're awake. There's all kinds of things happening back there.
Oh, no, I'm listening.
We got all this noise going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, stop breathing and stop moving.
I'm not doing anything, so it might be something over the phones. I heard the first 2 stories. I think they were the same way I read them, so I have to go with number 3 also, because there was just some detail there towards what's her name, the AOC lady. I think something that is the detail that's wrong on that one.
Well, gentlemen, you are both correct. The toilet paper story is fake, and AOC, that comment was fake as well, but surprisingly, it seemed like it was real coming from her. All right, Joe, back to you, my good man.
Hey, all right, well, sorry about all the distractions. We'll get back to the real stuff when we return.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
After attending the 46th annual March for Life in Washington, D.C., a group of young men from a Catholic high school in Covington, Kentucky, were rudely accosted while waiting for their bus pickup at the Lincoln Memorial. These aggressive protesters, who are even condemned by the left-wing Southern Poverty Law Center, call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites. They taunted the boys for nearly an hour with vile insults against their pro-life, pro-Trump attire, and their Catholic faith. The boys turned the other cheek throughout the unexpected encounter and eventually asked their adult chaperones for permission to sing their school cheers as a break from the protesters' profanity. The students remained admirably peaceful during this conflict. Then on the scene came an Indian elder who invaded their space and began beating his drum right in the face of one of the high school students. To describe the Indian's behavior as impolite would be an understatement. If he was merely trying to defuse the situation, as he later claimed, why didn't he beat his drum in the face of one of the real instigators? The ultimate injustice then came to the students when the liberal media and even supposed conservative voices began to savagely criticize the boys, and with hardly any evidence. March for Life event organizers should have been the first to stand up for their own participants, but instead, they initially sided against the students. Kentucky Republican Congressman Tom Massey heroically defended his young constituents from the onslaught, but Democrats and too many Republicans were far too quick to unjustly criticize the students. Many conservatives were forced to take back their comments after the truth emerged. But President Trump was not fooled by the fake news. He tweeted that, quote, "The students of Covington have become symbols of fake news and how evil it can be," end quote. In a refreshing rejection of the guilty if the media says so mindset of his critics, President Trump observed that the students have captivated the attention of the world, and I know they will use it for the good. The contrast is stark between President Trump and the Never-Trumpers. Unlike his critics, President Trump defends those who are unjustly smeared by the media.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. The hypocrisy and lies of the liberal media are alarming and even incite public unrest. But the fake news and the commentators who slant coverage are finally being exposed. At phyllisschlafly.com, we promise to provide timely alerts and take effective action on your behalf. That's phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Welcome back. Patriot Radio News Hour, 800-951-0592. So many places to go today. So first, I got to start with this. We have got one single case of Silver Eagles. I don't know what year it is. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I know it's not 2019. But I don't know anything about it. Other than it sits in our cage at the Bullion Bank as we speak. So we had it transferred to our cage this morning in our, as we do every day, we go out and we make phone calls. We try to come up with, a great deal for you to purchase and to sink your teeth into, and he happened to have a single case of Silver Eagles sitting in the vault. It came in probably, 10 minutes before we had made a call, so we were able to buy it. It can be had today, $9,125. That puts it below $3 over spot. Yeah, like $2, like $2.95 over. I know that's a lot. It's just not enough to break up. So whoever wants to get a case of silver, that's the only case there is. We are still 2 weeks out on getting any more 2019 Silver Eagles. Listen, silver's had a great pullback here. I mean, it's what, 15.30, 15.35? I mean, last week it was above 16. Great time, great item. You know what? Here's what makes it even better. It's a great price. $9,125 on a case of U.S. Silver Eagles at 800-951-0592. So I got two different things on gold that we got to talk about today. The first one, it's the lead article on our website at All American Gold. Another country now saying it wants to repatriate its gold. According to international reports, Romania, now the latest nation that wants its gold back. According to the Social Democratic Party, they have proposed legislation that requires the National Bank of Romania to hold most of its gold reserves at home. They're saying they want 95% of all their gold to be stored at home, saying that the bank can deposit gold from the established reserves that are abroad and bring it back to the national bank. And they said that they cannot hold more than 5% of its total gold reserves abroad. In other words, hey, listen, we can bring it all home. But if you insist that you got to have a little something out there, okay, 5% is all you can have abroad. The majority of its gold, you guessed it, held in the United Kingdom, right? You know, this is what happens, right? When all of a sudden people start to do math, when people start to say, hey, wait a minute, why is it we can't actually get an audit of the gold that we've left in your capable hands? Right? Remember Australia? We did that story the other day. People are like, hey, wait a minute. Is our gold even there? Now Romania says they want to bring the gold home. You can read about that. By the way, they hold 103 tons of gold in the vaults of England. Be prepared. You know, and I've said, I can tell you, I know Eric and I, we said it for years. Be your own central bank. There's a reason they're all doing it, right? There's a reason. I can guess, I can speculate what the reason is, and I think all of you know what the reason is. Right? The whole world is getting ready to have a major reset in currencies because none of this debt is payable. And they all want to make sure their gold is brought home. That's why we always say, where's the best place to hold your gold? Only where you know where it's at. How about this one? This one is a shocker. I guess it probably shouldn't be. Straight out of a movie. According to the reports, the remaining pockets of ISIS fighters were facing imminent defeat in northeast Syria. And apparently the United States gave them an offer they could not refuse. Give us your gold or die. Now, I don't know who made the offer to who. This is kind of saying this was our offer. I don't know. But apparently ISIS has bartered their way out of death by giving up its gold. According to Syrian state news agencies, U.S. forces struck a deal with ISIS where the terrorist group would give up 50 tons of gold. I mean, how do they get 50 tons of gold? In exchange for safe passage. The precious metals worth over $2 billion was plundered by the caliphate in its reign of terror, I guess, between Syria and Iraq. According to the articles, U.S. helicopters already transferred the gold to U.S. forces. Gone. That's it. That Silver Eagle case is gone. We have no more. You got to act fast sometimes. Thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate that. We'll have that as soon as we get it. Get the money. We'll have it sent from our cage directly to you. Back to the Syrian report. They've transferred it to a U.S. base. They are saying that the United States gave a portion of the gold to the Kurds. They don't specify how much. How would they know that? Well, I guess they do specify. Apparently, we gave them 10 tons. Here you go. Here you go. Thanks for helping. The other 40 tons, I don't know what they're going to do. At least here, they're saying that most of the gold was taken from Iraq. Now, I don't know if they're going to give it back. I don't know if we're going to finders, keepers, losers, weepers. I don't know. But apparently, there you go. You never know when you're going to need it, do you? Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Remember, everybody that could hear this, if you go out to allamericangold.com, you'll see the icon for 1360 KHNC. And I know, listen, I know we're having a little trouble with the live stream. Trust me, that's going to be resolved here in the next week. The podcasts are coming. I've told you new shows are coming. Eric is back. The only place you can get him is there at 1360. In the next several weeks, we will be adding 3 new programs to the lineup. Sons of Liberty is coming. The Chris Ann Hall Show is coming. Homeland Security Radio, all coming and more. Believe me when I tell you, we are going to turn this into the station that you are not going to want to turn off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I wanted to tell you, give us 2 weeks. Give us 2 weeks, and we'll have even more programming coming. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So make sure you start paying attention. And, of course, listen, all you people that want to advertise, trust me, this is where you want to be. Give us a call here. We can get you set up. Give Arlene a call. Just call Patriot if you want to get involved in what's happening up at KHNC. You want to be a sponsor of Eric's show. Remember, Eric it's not a gold show. It's his own little creation. By the way, I know it's an hour right now. It's going to grow. Yep, we're going to go multiple hours. Get on board. Call us 800-951-0592 and become a part of what's going on there. Matter of fact, we just added a new advertiser again yesterday. So things are happening. Speaking of happening, an historic day in the retail apocalypse, according to Business Insider. 680 stores closed today. Leading the pack, Tesla. Now, I guess they're stores, right? Because they kind of got that weird thing. I know we've got several of them here. Tesla closing 378 locations. Gap closing 230 locations. Oh, by the way, their stock got a big boost because they're spinning off Gap from Old Navy. Like, that's going to make a difference. Victoria's Secret. She's got a ways to go. I'm going to give you a little secret. Victoria's Secret closing 54 stores. That's barely scratching the surface. In J.C. Penney's, closing another 27 stores. The announcement from Tesla came as a surprise, but it says it's shifting to online sales only, kind of going with everybody else. Big day in store closings. And pretty much all of those, I mean, Tesla's kind of closing them all. All the rest of them, right, they're on the what I'll call the Sears program. How many stores can we get away with announcing today? And then, 6 months later, they'll announce more. And then another 6 months after that, they'll announce more. Kind of the way things are going. Economic data today, a lot of it came out. And I guess some of it's catch up from the shutdown. Some of it is the data that was supposed to come out. Manufacturing. Now, yesterday's GDP report, I told you, hey, it was good. I don't believe they had this business number in there that made no sense, but it's okay. Today, it kind of said, maybe it's not. American manufacturers grew at the slowest pace since Donald Trump became president in November of 2016, according to the Institute of Supply Management. This is one of the soft data numbers now. Now, we know we got hard, or not hard, but slowing hard data numbers, like consumer spending, right? That's all slowing, and we know about housing sales, we know about car sales, but now the soft data catching up. The Institute for Supply Management said it fell to 54. It is the lowest level again since Trump became president. The number was 61 just a few short months ago. So that was the first indication that something was happening. And then consumer spending came out. It says that consumer spending posted the biggest drop since 2009. Right? I mean, that was kind of like, the financial crisis had blown up and things were getting really ugly. According to the the Commerce Department, consumer spending fell 0.5% in December. Kind of, again, right, poking a little bit of a hole in that GDP number. The decline was a touch higher than forecast, just a touch. Consumer spending less on cars and trucks and others, things like electricity and gas, and some of it wasn't bad. You got to spend less at the gas pump. Unfortunately, it means that GDP is going to struggle from there. Also, the report contains some quirks and raised the question about how accurately it actually reflects the economy. In other words, people are kind of calling BS on all of it. And really, I get it. I don't know what's real and not real anymore, right? I mean, you think about fake news. I don't know. I mean, did it fall 0.5%? I don't know. Did GDP grow at 2.6%? I don't know. Right? Is manufacturing slowing down? I don't know. How about we just report real numbers and then everybody can know? I mean, right? That sounds simple to me. Let's end these seasonal adjustments and everything else. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Apparently we got poorer in January. According to the government. Don't worry, though. It was only by a little bit. 0.1% less in personal income in the month of January. By the way, they said, though, in December, though, apparently we were 1% richer. And I don't mean to laugh. I don't know, right? None of these numbers make any sense. And that's kind of the problem, right? Well, that's part of the objective, right? They baffle you with all of this stuff so you can't make out right from wrong and where and when and how and who and what. And all I know is all these central banks around the world want their gold back. And apparently we cut a deal with ISIS. They bartered their way out of debt. What I don't get is, why didn't we just eliminate them and then take the gold? I mean, if we had them surrounded, I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's what we should have done, don't you? I mean, call me crazy. I mean, at least, have them, take them into custody. Apparently, we just let them walk away. See, I wonder how that's going to work. 800-951-0592. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it is buying day. Technical sell-offs in gold and silver. Silver now $15.30, $15.29. We've been running those $half at 130 a roll. Today, I'm going to take $5 off today. Bring them down to 125 a roll. I'll get it changed on the website. We got US $20 Liberty Gold. Listen, what a price. $14.10. Here's what I'll do. 10 or more, $1,400. 20 or more. I didn't think this was we'd get below 1,400 again. 20 or more, $13.90 on those $20 Liberties. 800-951-0592. The silver's gone. As I said, we had a case. Now we don't. And that's just how it's going to be there. Grab these halves at $125 after the pullback here today. Take advantage of it. You're going to be glad that you did. 800-951-0592. And remember, hey, maybe you're not in a position where you can be an advertiser. Support us. Support the radio station. Support all the great new programs we're bringing to 1360 by doing business with us. 800-951-0592. U.S. $half rolls. These are pre-65 $half. They're awesome. Right? The $half are just cool. You don't see them very often. They're the hardest of the junk silver to actually get. I can't tell you how many times people go, oh, what $half? You're like, we're out. We've got them while we do. I mean, it's silver. Put it this way. If the Silver Eagle problem continues, we won't have these anymore either. So today I'm going to knock off another $5, $125 a roll. You get 20 $half in the roll. 800-951-0592. And again, $20 Liberties. They were on sale yesterday at $14.20. Gold's down $10. Take $10 off. $14.10. Then I'm going to do this. Buy 10 or more, $1,400. Buy 20 or more, $13.90. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, KHNC, KXXT, and everybody else. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday.